It is a great day for democracy. Democracy does work. The side that I voted for yesterday was the first one down to vote yesterday, just a few minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning when the polling stations did open. No one was caught, basically. In majority, in Cavan Monaghan, where I am, 8 in 1 voted no. So for every person that voted yes, there was only one of them compared to 8 people who voted no. The same as myself, I voted no and no. And the reason why, and to be told in the main, everybody knows, the government, you couldn't trust them, first of all. You couldn't trust them. And just to totally honest, I wouldn't vote anything the government gives me nowadays. I wouldn't do it for them. Simply, I would vote absolutely no. Because the government, time and time again, have showed a traitorous bunch to this country. They don't care about you. They don't agree with your sovereignty. They don't agree with anything. They don't believe in it. It's a bit sad. And not even that, the word and etc. etc. And just taking the word woman out of the constitution, they hate the word woman and man. They hate it. They hate the family. They hate children. They hate everything. They hate anything that stands for, for the society we grew up in. They hate that. They hate it. They absolutely despise that. But the people of Ireland, thankfully, have seen and said no, utterly no and no. And in some cases in Ballyfermot and Cherry Orchard, around that area, 99% in some cases voted absolutely no with the electorate in that area. So when you see that, the government have lost the room. They really have lost. Like, they are literally just coping at this stage of government. Mary Lou McDonald's out about saying they're going to have a referendum if they get in. It's the exact same thing. But at the end of the day, as I always say, democracy has spoken. It's not like it was 50-50. That we'll have to have another referendum to decide. Democracy overwhelmingly has spoken. Like, it's not even in the same ballpark. And I would say the same if it was in the yes, I would just accept it. That's the way I've always have been. When something's done, it's done. And it's not even close, to be totally honest. So you can't just say it wasn't even close. So like it was eradicated, the yes side, basically. But it is a good day for women. I know the TDs absolutely hate using the word woman, and that a woman is the only person that can get pregnant, and the only person that can reproduce. I know the absolute chaos after saying that, but that is the truth. That's the scientific facts, and I'm just stating the facts that has been for millions of years on this planet. And at the end of the day, the people of Ireland have spoken, and thankfully they've spoken the way I didn't say much coming up to the referendum. I wanted people to think for themselves. And thankfully people did think for themselves and said utterly no. And we've seen with the government about sending the Christmas card and a dual relationship. What kind of bullshit is that? And undermining marriage too. Because marriage is a sacred bond between a man and a woman. And it's sacred. It is a really, really sacred bond. And it's been for the last millions of years. And for that to be undermined, it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. That even just sending the Christmas card and a dual relationship, etc. etc. What can you say, really? Really, what can you say? It would send a Christmas card, like, really. And then not even that, what Neil Richmond said on the Tonight Show one night was very tone deaf. And I said it before, they wanted to bring in loads of people from other countries and let them bring in the whole family, the dog and the father and the mother and the sister and Tim from Timbuktu, to let them come in, the family reunification. They basically said the quiet part out loud. And not even to that, the next thing I say, but Leo on the 6 o'clock show the other day was like, fuck you, if you're elderly person and stuff like that, the state does not want to care for you. You can die in your own home. We don't care for you. We don't care about you. You're useless to us. That's more or less what Leo said. That it's up to families to care. And in some regard it is. I do agree with that. The family has to try and look after them too. But at the same time, the state, if you're an elderly person, you worked all your life in the state, you paid your taxes. The state should really try their best to care for you as much as they can. I know they can only do so much for everybody, but they should do their best. But what Leo was saying is basically, fuck you. We don't care about you. And that's unacceptable for a Taoiseach to come out with. Pretty much, and I know I used more fungal language, but basically that was said, to be fuck you to the electorate. Which is unacceptable too. And it's not even that, we look at the word woman. The word woman is going to be entirely removed from the Constitution. It would never have been seen again. And it's not even that. The words that they were using in the referendum itself was very vague and very, very fucking, if you ask me, just the biggest load of bullshit you could find. And I think the majority of people in the country agreed with that. So at least there's some hope. But the biggest knock on here, this is the biggest thing. I know this is the last thing I say on it, because I'm very delighted that it didn't pass, because it was very serious for the country. It would have had astronomical effects for the next donkey's years, and to every citizen in the country would affect it, particularly women and children too, people in relationships, etc. Chaos, it would have affected a lot. It would have affected everybody at some point too. And this is the biggest thing, that the government, the whole political establishment, apart from Aontu, and then there was the national parties, of course, the Irish Freedom Party stuff for no. But the only party really in the Dáil was Aontu that said, and Sinn Féin, People Before Babel, Labour Party, Social Democrats, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Labour, all of them, totally yes, 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 yes. All the parties, well, every party was up in arms about it, saying yes, yes, and yes. Only for some independents in Aontu, the ones that sit in Dáil. Not like, again, the National Party and other parties done well in campaigning and spreading the word to say the folk know and know. We do take our hats off to them for that. And to Aontu too, and to the independents, Carl Nolan and Matty McGrath, etc. Matty McGrath basically said it the other day that the smoking at him, the laugh and thinking they had it in their bag, the Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael TDs. They thought they had the smoke on them, thinking, oh yeah, we win boys, there's no hope for the no side to win. And now, the smoke is kind of fairly on our faces, it's very on our faces. Because they actually thought, this is the thing Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael thought, they actually thought they couldn't be bet. They actually thought that it couldn't happen. People couldn't vote against them. Why would you vote against Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael? We've been here for donkey's years. We always had the best interest of the state at heart. Even though Micheál Martin said we don't agree with the backwards looking idea of sovereignty. We have the best intentions of the nation at heart. People don't seem to agree with that now at the moment. Because, it's not even that, it's just the no to the government. Because you couldn't trust them, and that's to be totally honest. And I give them the benefit of the doubt so many times throughout the years. It's come to a point now where you couldn't trust them to tell you the sky is blue. You generally couldn't trust them to tell you that. So it's basically just a perfect example. And we see in the local authority election and the European election coming up, the mainstream political parties might not have a good time. That's all I'm going to say. But they're not going to do too well. They might send them a Christmas card to satisfy them, maybe. But we see. But it's not looking too good for them. Let's put it that way. But at the end of the day, it's their own fault. They should have just woke up and seen the reality of what was around them. But they told they wanted to live in the delusions. So that's it. It's great to see democracy has spoken, and that's it. That's the book. They can't have it, and I will say this just before. I'm afraid of them having another referendum, but they can't do that because there's no point having democracy when you don't like the vote, and then you have another vote. It's just the way it goes. It's the same with TDs and senators. The way they get elected and stuff like that, I would always accept that if they get elected, I might not agree with them, but they get elected, people vote them in. There's nothing really you can do about it. But you can't just turn around and say when people say no, have another one. It's the same if somebody said yes and then they had a vote saying, oh no, we don't agree with that. What's the point in having a weapon doing that kind of crap? But anyway, we see what happens, but they can't do that. You might as well just throw democracy out the door. That's it. Thank you.